we have spiritual crisis. Why? Because there is a weak connection to Allah. For example, a person wants to get married, you see. He gets in love. He falls in love with the girl. Why? Because he knows the girl, right? You cannot fall in love with someone whom you do not know. You love your parents because you have been living with them. They gave you birth. They raised you. You know how much they have sacrificed for you, in spite of all negativities. Also, if there is, but you still have a love. Why? Because they have installed values, morality, love, sacrificed, paid for your education, paid for everything. Likewise for your wife who you want to marry, or your child, or your friends. Why? There is a connection. The deeper the connection, the more love is there. The deeper the connection. A person you might be meeting, might have met today for the first time, there is a very weak connection. But you might be living with a person since 30 years, there is a long years connection, which is very strong. So which is more strong? In the same way, there is a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who created you, sustained you, and the one who's going to raise you on the day of judgment, to whom you worship. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي والمماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له. Yani say, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that indeed your salah, your sacrifice, your living and your dying are all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbul Alameen, the one who is the Lord of everything. And there is no one who worships, who deserves to be worshipped in truth beside him. And that is Allah Azza wa Jalla. So the deeper the connection, the more spiritual you get. You pray your salawat, you pray your sunnah, to rawatib, you pray your nawafil, give sadaqah, you give your zakah, you go for hajj, you do your siyam, Ramadan, you do all types of ibadah, you make a dhikr, you get more closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. When you do not have this, there is a spiritual decline. Number 3, there is a social crisis. How social crisis? Because the normalization and the breaking down of families. And breaking down of families is very pandemic. And it is taken as very normal. A father, as I've told you, you go to the West, you see most aged people are in their old age homes. They by themselves, they volunteer. They want. Why? Because they don't have any children to look after. You see Japan, one of the most advanced countries in the world. They're living. They are very, high, expensive life. But in the morality, they don't have anything. The socially, they are declining. The demography is declining. Likewise, you have Sweden. All of the European countries, there is a decline in the population. Why? Because nobody's marrying now. The LGBT community is taking over. So they are men marrying men, women marrying women. And the system of marriage is broken down. So there is no legit child. And Bill Clinton had addressed this back in the 90s, where he said that they fear that most of our population will become born out of wedlocks. And born without a legit marriage. So that is normalized. So that is the social crime. That's a social problem. But if we go to the West, it's not. And that is being pushed and shoved down our throats by the West.